I think any entrepreneur feels that way though.
Yeah.
No matter what, you know what I mean. You have your weeks where you're on top of the world, and then you have your weeks where you're like, damn, what am I gonna do?
You are now tuning in to the Roughnecks Podcast with your host, Cole Nixon. Much love.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode, Roughnecks Podcast. We are back with a returning guest and a new guest. It's complicated. It sounds weird, but that's just how it is. But without further ado, Denali and Roger, welcome to the Roughnecks Podcast. Welcome back. Welcome for the first time.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited.
How long has it been since we recorded our original one?
Man,
Year
I
or
want to
two?
say over.
It's gotta be over
I
a
think it's
year.
close to 2 years.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to say it's close to 2 years,
probably.
which is crazy. A lot's happened. A lot's changed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. You're married with a kid, or
Married with a kid on the
yeah,
way, man.
that's changed a little bit.
Oh
different.
my goodness, drastically.
Yeah, and
All in a
not
year.
much has changed for me. I'm still in the same house. Still, I mean, I'm engaged.
Yeah.
But
Congratulations. on that.
Congratulations. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm just kidding. She doesn't listen, so she doesn't know I do that.
Yeah.
It's bad that she doesn't even listen to me.
Mm.
She's like, I've done it and I've listened to enough. I'm good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. It's cool. I understand. You just hate the podcast. I get it.
So what, you were 19 your first time on here?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I forgot
Actually
you were a
was.
youngin.
Yeah. I mean, I just turned 22. Yeah, I'm excited.
I just turned 27. It's
Oh, you're
not
still
fun.
young, man.
Yeah, still young. My body doesn't feel that way anymore, but we're getting there. So, let's just check back in with where we're
Yeah.
at from the original episode. I mean, a lot's changed, like we talked about. So,
Yeah.
one, introduce Roger for me, and
Yeah.
then we'll just kind of check back in on everything, and then we'll get into like the details of everything.
Absolutely. So this is my business partner, Roger. We had met. What was that? Over a year ago? 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was over. Yeah, it was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, almost 2 years ago.
Mhm.
He was curious about how to get started in real estate, and we had met in a Friday morning meeting that they have here in Newark. And I had walked into the room, and I noticed him a couple of times being in there, but there's not too many wholesalers here in Lincoln County, and he was curious in that. And after the meeting, he had reached out to me on Facebook saying, "Hey, I want to meet up with you. I want to get started in real estate, get started in wholesaling." So we met at River Road downtown, which is my favorite place to meet people at.
Coffee shops are the
Yeah.
best.
Oh my goodness, I like the setting, and it was late. It was late that night. I think we met. Like
It
it was around
was.
6.
Yeah, it was.
6,
It was in the evening.
7. And we had just talked about real estate, and this guy was so intriguing because he left his job to start a business.
Wow.
Didn't know what that looked like yet. Didn't know how he was going to do it. But I'm 19, 20 years old, and this dude's like, "Yeah, can you show me what you know about real estate? I just quit my job." And I'm like, "Dude, you got more courage than me, dude." Like, you just
same.
left that.
I have my own side business,
Yeah.
and I still won't leave
Yeah,
my job.
right. Yeah, no, he did that. So that was one of the things that was intriguing about him. And then also, I'd asked him a question at the end of our conversation. I'm not sure if you remember this. And I had said, are you more interested in just earning money, or you want to actually learn about real estate? Because learning and earning is two different things. And he had said that he was interested in learning about real estate. So that let me know he wanted to play the long game in this. And in this space, you got to. If you get into it just for the money, it runs you out just as fast. So
Yeah.
you have to have
Same
a bigger
with, I feel
why.
like any type of
Oh my
career.
goodness, yeah, absolutely. So because things get challenging, yes, the money is there. However, the challenges are just as big as the money. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's how I met him though.
So
He's
what
curious.
was the decision like? What made you just want to be like, screw it, I'm quitting my job?
Oh man, I hated it for a long time. To be honest with you, I don't know. I guess I don't know how to say it without sounding arrogant, but like I guess I was just showing up to work every day, and I don't know. Like I just was like I feel like my time could be spent more usefully,
Okay.
and I couldn't help but like be with my coworkers and just think to myself like, there's no way that this guy's time is worth just as much as mine, and yeah, I mean, I knew that I could do something more if I just tried. So I started with the first two things that I already kind of had, because I have a auto detailing business as well.
Okay.
So I started them both at the same time. I started pursuing real estate, and I started my detailing business at the same time. So those were two things that I knew I could already do, because I already was familiar with wholesaling real estate. I just didn't know how it worked. So I just knew if I went out, looked for the knowledge, I could find it and hopefully turn it into something.
Would you do anything different now?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
I couldn't be happier with the result of me quitting my job and,
Yeah.
and really pursuing this?
It's kind of stuff that I've talked about on some recent solo episodes, and then me and Dante kind of talked about it too, of like getting stuck in that job. And because like my dad worked like the same job for like 40 years, 35, 40 years.
Man.
I mean, he finally retired, and he's like, what do you get when you retire and you put that much time into a company?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And it's
No
like,
good.
so I get what you like, having those jobs, but in getting stuck in it is very easy to do. Like,
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I kind of catch myself sometimes now. I do really enjoy my job. I put in pools and patios. I went to college.
that's
I have a
awesome.
marketing degree.
That's pretty cool.
And I put in pools, but then like I catch myself sometimes like, why am I doing this? And then I'm like, well, I do like what I do. Like that helps.
Yeah.
Is there days that I want to not do it at all and
Right.
want to just
Yeah.
walk off the job and never go back? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like today or yesterday or Friday was one of those days.
Yeah.
I think that's with anything, though, to be honest with you.
You're gonna have ups and downs with it, but it is important. It's hard to find what you truly like, especially because it's. I mean, me and Sierra were just talking about it. Like, time flies as you start getting older. Like,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
she's like, "Can you leave tomorrow's the last day of September?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" I'm like, I thought we just started September.
Yeah.
I did not know
September
we
went
were.
by fast.
Yeah.
I feel like this whole year has been going by fast for me.
It has.
Like,
Yeah.
I turn around, like, because I mean, now I'm busy as crap because I literally come down, I work all day, come home, get in the basement, and I work. And
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Thursdays I play too much volleyball, so
Yeah.
I got back wing. But also, like, it's just like getting stuck in that cycle, and sometimes it's very hard to get out of it. And that's why Saturday I didn't do anything. I watched college football. I had 3 TVs set up. I loved my day, and that was it. But kind of, wholesaling in real estate, like, I feel like some people don't know exactly what wholesaling is. Explain what it is, how the process works, and why wholesaling versus other types of real estate that you could go into.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bunch of reasons. First and foremost, so with wholesaling real estate, very simple.
wrong too.
Very simple. You're buying discount properties and selling them to investors at a higher price. So essentially, that pain in the butt property to see on a road. You have neighbors reaching out to you. Hey, like we want to get this eyesore off of our road. People like us are coming. We're searching for properties like that and getting them in contract and sell them to investors for a higher price. So, for example, if a property owner says, "Hey, a recent scenario that we have is the seller's uncle passed away. She inherited the property. It's been sitting there for 4 years since he's passed, and she was like, I don't even want to go in there anymore. Like the memories and everything just remind me of him, and I kind of just want to be done with that." So with that, we went back and forth on a price, and she was like, "Hey, I just want to let it go." So I gave her a price that made sense for her, but also made sense for us because we are a for-profit, so we are looking to make money on this transaction. Got that in contract, and then what we do is market out into investors, just like you see on HGTV, who are interested in flipping the property, making it beautiful, making it all nice. We kind of do the grunt work. So a lot of investors, they don't want to search, they don't want to talk to property owners because it comes with a lot of stress. It does. It comes with a lot of emotional maturity, essentially, because you're dealing with people's problems, and they just want to look at numbers and, hey, I just need to make $30,000 on this flip. I need to make $40,000 on this flip. Two completely different ball games. The cool thing is with wholesaling, we can enter these properties without the risk that flippers have. So, for example, we can make 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand on a transaction, but we don't have the stress and the worries of what if the contractors don't show up? Did the market shift these past 6 months since I've been holding this property? What else is there? Gosh, there's so many other things you can think of. Just a bunch of issues. Yeah, just a bunch of risk factors. We don't take that on. The only thing we're taking on, honestly, is making sure that we adhere to our word.
Okay.
Because a lot of sellers, we have to tell them like, hey, this would be a cash purchase, and we have to go search for that person who has the cash to purchase the property. So just making sure that our numbers make sense and we're just not locking stuff up at a high price matters. But the difference, because there's a huge debate out there, especially right now in Ohio, on the difference between a wholesaler and a realtor. And the only difference is, if you're doing it ethically, is realtors do on-market properties that typically don't need too much value add to them, whereas wholesalers, we deal with a lot of distressed properties and distressed situations, and we sell it to off-market investors.
Okay.
The only process is the same if you're running it correctly. The only thing is we're just marketed to two different people.
Yeah.
A lot of realtors think that we do the same thing. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't
I
ever.
like the way that you explained it the other day. I can't remember who we were talking to, but you basically said like we basically are acting as a realtor in the transaction, except we are like we're representing the seller in the transaction, but it's off market, so
Okay.
we don't
That is
need to
the only
be
difference.
we don't need to be licensed.
Gets rid of some of that stress too.
Yeah.
That
It does.
comes with
A lot of
selling a
stress.
house.
Because everybody thinks that a property owner wants the highest price out of their home, and that's not all cases. A lot of them
Sometimes
they
they
don't
just want it gone.
They don't want people
Yeah.
running in and out of their property. They don't want to have to deal with inspections. They don't want to have to, when they get ready to list, a realtor sends you a 5-page packet on, hey, here's what you need to do to fix the property. They don't want those things. They don't want those headaches. So they're like, hey, I'm willing to take $40,000 less, $50,000 less to make sure we don't go run through those things and get it done in 30 days rather than put it on the market and hoping that it sells. So,
Yeah. The biggest thing I think as well is speed.
yeah.
We usually
Biggest
push these
value.
transactions, within 30 days.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Is like kind of how quick is the process?
Yeah.
So if you're posting on market, if it's a good deal, it's typically 40 to 60 days. But if it's something that's not really hot, let's say like a 2-bed, 1-bath right now, they're sitting on the market a lot right now. You're talking a 180-day contract with a realtor. Not too many people can afford that at all. My wife would love this cat.
Yeah. We always used to say he was the mascot of the podcast because he
Yeah.
used to do that all the time. He hasn't been doing it lately, so we thought he was going to do it yesterday when we were recording, but he didn't. Yeah, sorry for the Waylon
Yeah.
photo bomb, I guess.
No worries, I love it.
Yeah, the whole housing market right now, like, how much do you pay attention to what the markets do? I mean, obviously, you're probably looking at it a lot. Like, what are the things that you're looking for in terms of the market?
Yeah. So right now you have to look at what, and at least in our perspective, what buyers are looking for in the market, because from when a buyer is walking that property, when it's staged, it's already completely done with the renovation, it's listed, all that. We have to we're on the front line of that process. So right now, investors are getting beat up left and right because we have now shifted into a buyer's market, especially here in Licking County. Since the hype about Intel's came in and people were like, hey, I want $50,000 more for my property, and rates were at 3%. They're thinking that their property is still going to sell 30, 40, 50% above market. Just not the case right now. What we're running into is a lot of buyers are saying, hey, okay, if I'm going to pay the 6 to 7% interest on my money, I want to make sure that I'm getting my money's worth out of the property. So where in COVID, you can kind of slap mud on a wall, you can kind of half-ass a flip or whatever you want to call it, and still get 20 to 30% above market, it's no longer like that. Now buyers are getting smarter, and they're becoming savvy in a sense that, okay, yes, you fixed the property, but the driveway is not sealed. Or yes, you fixed the property, but the mechanicals aren't replaced, or you didn't attend to the garage in the backyard, so that looks ugly. Or I'm not paying $250,000 for something that doesn't have a garage. They're getting more educated on these things and more intentional about what they want, and all that starts on the front end when we're talking to a seller, having to tell them like, hey, the market is shifting right now. Yes, in 2021 we would have took the price that you're asking. However, we also have to accommodate for what our buyers want when we go to list a property. And typically, if you're able to explain these things to a seller, they're way more understanding rather than being like, hey, yeah, we need to be 40,000 below what you're asking. Like, you have to have reasoning behind why you're becoming low. But all in all, the market is shifting towards a buyer's market. Buyers are getting more savvy. They're getting more intentional with what they want, which makes flippers and wholesalers have to be more intentional about their numbers as well. So it's kind of just like a ripple effect right now.
Which, I mean, it could change in a month.
Oh, it could change a
completely.
month from now. Yeah.
It could be completely different.
It's a guessing game.
When me and Sierra first started looking for houses, like the good deals and stuff, like there was some that we saw. We're like, oh, we should go look at that one. Boom, gone. Next day. Like, it's already
Absolutely.
contingent. And then now, like, I'm like, oh man, that's been on there for a month now.
Yeah,
like,
we're seeing houses sit on the market a lot longer right now.
which I love it, but I'm not seeing what I want to go buy.
Yeah,
that's the worst part.
So the thing is, too, man, is relationships are everything. Because off market, you'd be surprised on where you can get deals at or where you can get properties at. Like, for example, we had 2 properties on one lot there on Mount Vernon Road, $107,000 for both of them. The one that was on the front part of the lot was that 1,600 square foot?
Yeah.
1,600 square foot. The one on the back of it was like 1,100 or something like that. So instantly right there. Either you can set that up as, okay, I can have my mom live in the back, my mom and dad live in the back as a suite, or you can have it as a rental property. But to get properties at, what is that, around 50K, 55,000
Yeah.
in today's market, where do you find that at? Off market.
Yeah.
We have one in contract right now. It is going through probate. I have it in contract at 49,000, and it'll sell for 175 by the time I get done with it. You just don't see those. You don't see those numbers on the market anymore at all. No. And if any buyer is listening to this, do not be afraid to put your offer in, because you don't know what the seller is willing to accept.
Yeah.
You never know what their situation is at all. We had one that we just finished up a couple weeks ago where it was recently listed for 460,000 on the market. She went off market because she just wanted to sell her property, and the realtor didn't get that job done. We ended up coming in at 321,000. She said okay.
Yeah.
Just put in an offer.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
You never know, because you never know what people need the money for.
Some people, I mean, the realtors and stuff, they're going to list it high. Like when we were talking, they
want a higher commission.
We put a bid in on a house, and we thought we had a chance at it, and but like then we were talking, and like when Sierra, they told us like what they'd list ours for. I'm like, I'd rather go higher. Yeah. Honestly, like, because one, I needed that. We were going from a $170,000 house to like a $400,000 house. So like it was a big change.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, we kind of wanted some extra money, and it needed a little bit of work. It wasn't too bad, but it needed some work. Ended up not happening. Somebody came in and offered asking same time as our offer came in, and it is what it is. But yeah, it's just because I think honestly, because that house had sat, I think if somebody didn't come in at the same day and offer, like maybe the price we offered wouldn't have gone, but like we could have gone up a little bit, and it still would have been under asking.
Yeah,
so
that'd be okay.
I see it all the time where people are just like, because Sierra's like, should we go this low? And
they call it seller fatigue.
But she was like, should we go this low? Like, it kind of feels bad. But it was her grandpa's property, so that was part of the reason we were trying to get it, and we couldn't afford to go much higher. And I'm like, I was like, what's the worst thing that happens is we don't get the fucking house. Oh well, we move on with our life. That's it. That fly is driving me nuts. But what is the most challenging aspect of this? The whole thing.
Lead generation, probably.
Yeah, figuring out the data, man. So the sales, you can easily go read a few books. You can apply that. You can work on your tonality. You can start to understand people, right? You can read about the market. That stuff is it comes easier, I feel like, to us.
Yeah.
What's hard right now is the data. I've never been a data guy. I've never really cared too much to get too in the details with numbers. So you're talking about. So,
I'm all about it. I got a minor in data analytics in college.
It's crazy, man.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about a sales guy trying to figure out data. That's hard. Like it is, because I'm wanting to talk in front of people. I'm used to just being in a people environment. You go to have to sit behind a computer and do kind of like the boring work in a sense, but it doesn't matter how good your sales is. If you don't have great data, you can be a great salesman but hitting the wrong prospects.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
So right now, that's kind of where we're at. When we get a property in contract from point A to point Z, we have no issue on closing it. Whether it's renegotiation, whether it's bumps that do come along the way of having it in contract in those 30 days, that stuff comes easy to us. It's getting the deal flow, getting the correct data to go there, because we're figuring out today. We just talked about this for like 2 or 3 hours today. The property details and getting the ownership info, stuff like that, no issue. Skip tracing is where we're lacking right now. So now it's figuring out, okay, where do we get skip tracing data? How can we get it without it being that expensive? What does that look like? Is there any different types of marketing we can use to do that? Because I guess at the end of the day, the game is to maximize as much potential out of your data that you can get, but keeping the data low as well. Keeping the monthly marketing budget low while getting as high as profits as you can. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
And just trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say data. Data is the hardest part. Networking, all that. Raising money hasn't been too bad.
Yeah, we haven't really had many issues other than lead generation. I mean, it's kind of like, we're hustling from deal to deal versus like we want to have another deal already in the works by the time we close one.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and
that's kind of been our biggest
We kind of did it ass backwards in a sense, because everybody says like, hey, it takes a long time to build your referral based game up, because you have to have credibility, you have to know people, you have to shake hands. They say it takes a long time. We've done it completely backwards because our coach that we had harped on, hey, build your referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Through any down market, referrals always matter because you stay intact with the people that you with. Oh, you almost got it. So we built it backwards to, I was looking back at our transactions from the 3 years that we've done it. I've had 3 or 4 come from actual just cold calls.
Really?
And it's like, okay, do you lean on that? Do you lean on the fact that you just lean on referrals and you know how to build a relationship? We're working on it. I don't know what it looks like. We're working on it. These are questions we're asking ourselves.
So, like, when things do start to get maybe slow, like if they're not, or you don't have that data and things aren't maybe not going the way exactly you want them, how do you keep that confidence up in yourself and in the business?
Oh, my gosh, that's a great question. You want to go first on that?
I mean, in my experience, I think that it doesn't really, like, when things are slow, it doesn't really hit your confidence because we know that we're capable of closing a deal. We know that we're good at what we do. It's just like, where is it going to come from, if that makes sense?
Yeah. I would say our last coach, he used to preach this. He always used to say, get out your head and work the process. So when things were slow, you have to go back to the process. And what does that look like? Okay, do you need to dial more? Okay, do you need to set up more meetings and more conversation? Do you need to circle back to properties that you had? What processes can we go back to kind of get us back through there? I read a book. Do you know Jocko Willink? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Extreme Ownership.
Oh, I haven't read his book yet, but I love
it's amazing.
Jocko.
It's
I
amazing.
used to listen to his
One of the
podcast
things he
all
talks
the
about
time.
is prioritize and execute.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that because when things get foggy, when people on a battlefield and they're kind of freaking out on what to do next, he says prioritize and execute. So now when I'm struggling with confidence, I'm struggling through going through things, the first thing I say is prioritize and execute.
Right.
What that looks like is I'm focusing on, okay, what one task can I get done right now? What are the immediate tasks that I need to do right now in order to keep the ball moving forward? Because I know what life is. I mean, it's ups and downs, like you said. But how can we stay fluid and stay fluid in knowing, hey, it's okay that life goes up and down like this. That's been something that's helped me stay confident and stay trusting.
Yeah.
Okay, I know a deal's gonna come from the work that we're putting in.
Yeah, there's always activity to be done.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what.
Yeah, that's something I learned in sports.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You can never be sitting still. There's always something
No.
you can do, whether in like mental reps is what they always told us. And I'm like, my brain hurts from taking so many mental reps when you're not playing, coach.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, and you've brought it up a few times. I kind of want to dive into it because we talk about it a lot on this podcast, and I'd really try to stress this. But the importance of connections and being able to talk to people.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main reasons I continue to do this podcast is I get to talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what me and Dante were talking about it yesterday. And it's like, you've probably talked to over 200 different people on this podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now that I think about it, I probably have. And like, it doesn't even seem that way. And I've had, all different walks of life and everything, but express the importance of connections and being able to be a people person and talk to people, because that first time you go up and talk to a random stranger is not fun.
No.
It's not, but kind of talk about that. And then also that challenge of, getting more, I don't know if you've both either always been kind of like just outgoing, easy to talk to or talk to anybody, or if you had to kind of come out of your shell a little bit.
Yeah. A little bit of both. So with football, it was always easy to feel comfortable having conversations, whether it was against an opponent, whether it was against my teammates, whatever that was. But when it came to stuff that I didn't know, like real estate, when I first got started, I'll never forget, I went to my first networking event in Columbus, and I brought a backpack with me. And it was just me. I'm 17, 18 years old. I got told by one of my mentors, like, hey, just go out to this networking event. I'm going to give you a couple people to meet, and we'll do that. And I remember I was feeling sick to my stomach walking out of the building. If you were curious, you don't bring a backpack to a networking event, and you don't bring a pen and pad to a networking event. It's meant that I remember when we walked in there, everybody had drinks in their hands and they're just socializing. Like there was no pen and pad, no, hey, let's take notes, anything like that. And I'm like, man, what in the world? Because here in Newark, it was at the meetings I was going to, it was normal to always bring that.
Yeah.
And I just remember feeling so anxious that I was sick to my stomach. I had to sit down in the back of the room, and I don't think I've ever really talked about this. I sat in there for about 20 minutes, and I walked back out. And that's what started that. So you talk about building connection. I think what's important first is exposure, getting exposure to it. So when you are going to networking events, when you are trying to see new things, you don't necessarily have to be in it at first, if that makes sense. If you're curious about real estate, it's okay at least getting around in the room that people talk about. You don't have to be in there and actively participating in what they're talking about, but at least just get in there so you can start understanding lingo, understanding how the flow goes and whatnot. Same thing with anything you do. You just get around it first, expose yourself to it first, and then you start to kind of get comfortable. For my people who played football, it's kind of like when it's Friday night and you walk that field at a away game. You walk around the poles and whatnot. You kind of get used to the environment, get used to the atmosphere before you play, because it kind of calms those nerves down. Same thing. So as far as building connections, I mean, it's huge, man. Huge. I think that's the only thing that's been getting me here. I remember when I was coaching my little sister's 6th grade team, her friends would ask me, hey, like, what are you going to be doing, like, since you've graduated school? And I told them that I was getting in real estate. Everybody I can think of. I was just at Black Hand the other day, sitting down, and a group of gentlemen came up to me, and they were like, yeah, like, what's going on? What are you doing out here? And somehow I end up still telling them that I buy and sell real estate, because you just never know. I might see them out there again. They'd be like, hey, man, I remember last time you talked to me. Yeah. So I tell everybody what it is I want to do. Everybody. And it just trickles from there, because it goes from Johnny ends up knowing someone who's in real estate, and then that person that Johnny connected me with knows someone in real estate. And that's literally how I got from Newark to Columbus, just through connections. So
yeah, I've personally, it's important to have those connections and stuff like that, and just tell people about it, because I was always like, a lot of people knew at the beginning that I did a podcast, unless you're following me on social media and stuff. And then same with like the photography and stuff. Like I would didn't want to post it on my personal page, and I didn't want to share it because I'm like, people probably get annoyed seeing this crap. So I'm like, but then I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? First off, I don't care. If you don't want to follow me, then don't.
I needed to hear that today. We're talking about free marketing, and I'm like, dude, I need to start posting.
It's tough, dude. I looked at my personal page the other day, and it's been like almost a year or something since I've posted. Anything on that, and Sarah's the same way. But I looked at like Roughnecks. It's like once a week at least, and then Nixon Productions. It's picking up a little bit, but I haven't been using the social media for that as much. It's just posting it, but
it's a job in itself.
It is.
Yeah.
After you guys leave, I will probably spend 2 to 3 hours going through multiple episodes, clips of getting them clipped out, or I already have them clipped out, but getting the captions right, getting the music, if I'm adding music to it, getting it scheduled, because I schedule it now, because I used to be I tried to, I'll post every day. No, because then sometimes I don't even get on my phone until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I'm not posting a reel now. Like, I don't want to post too late. So,
how far ahead do you have your content like
So,
recorded?
it varies. Like, so this episode will come out Thursday, I think. So, like, sometimes I try to record like a week in advance, and it's simply to give me time to edit it and stuff like that. But sometimes, I'll turn around in 24 hours and upload an episode. It just depends. I usually try to get at least 1 week. I don't like to go much more than that, because if there is current stuff going on, like I kind of like to keep it sound current. Like it's not like I'm not recording months in advance and stuff like that. So
that makes sense.
Social media is a struggle in itself. It's constantly changing.
Business, man.
It is
a whole other business.
And I thought, just when you think you have it figured out, no, it changes. There's some new social media, or like I didn't realize. Are you guys on Twitter, X? Like, do you?
Not on
X.
I am. I'm not actually.
You're not on Twitter?
No.
I didn't realize how big. I work for a softball organization with my business. I run their social media and stuff, and I got to like look, and that's all they post on is like X. Like all the girls, all the coaches, all the teams. I'm like, what? Wow. I thought X was dead. Like I honestly didn't think it was a big thing anymore. And no, that's all they really post on, like their Instagrams, and then sometimes their Facebook they do, but it's just straight X. And I'm like, I never would have thought that. because I used to get on Twitter a lot, like in college, and then I kind of
Yeah.
just fell off of it.
It's kind of
Yeah.
turned into like a news channel almost. Really.
Yeah, that's
It's like
true.
all it really is.
But I haven't been on X, and I was like, good God, they post everything on here. Like sometimes the girls, like the one girl committed to like Bowling Green or something,
Mhm.
and I was like looking on Instagram trying to find it, and I'm like, she didn't post it. And I went on Twitter, it's on Twitter, and I'm like, you'd
Yeah.
think you'd post it on all your platforms, but
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Like you just committed to a D1 college, so
Yeah. Oh wow, just on X
yeah.
posted her commitment.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I did not realize that X was such a big thing. But
Do you
apparently
post
it
any
is.
of your content on X?
I have been now
Yeah.
since I've started
Got to.
realizing.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, man, I need to. Like, I don't really get on it much, so like, I get on it simply for that organization, just to like check and see if the girls have posted something and everything like that. But for the most part, I don't post anything on it. I don't even think I have. I might have a personal account still, but I
Yeah.
don't even know how to log into it. I forgot
Yeah.
the password to it and everything. But kind of going back to the connections and everything, and like there's another photographer that I know that literally we're in the same town essentially. Like they're Licking County. You probably it's SNF. And, you know,
Yeah,
they do a lot. They're
They
actually
took
in
our
a
senior
valley.
pictures, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're all in all of Valley sports now.
Yeah.
But like, you know, they're a competitor essentially.
Mhm.
But like I talked to them, and it actually has led to me potentially working for them, and them helping me with stuff. They actually took the pictures at my volleyball tournament this year. I hired them to come take
Yeah.
the pictures, and like they might have me do some stuff for them because they
Yeah.
don't. Video side of things isn't like their forte, and
Yeah.
that's my forte. So
Yeah.
that's where I'd rather be. And it's like just that connection. Even people that you would least expect sometimes
Yeah.
can turn out to be great connections to have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've actually found like it's more often like a stranger that's gonna support you than
Yeah.
you know, someone that you already know.
Yeah. That's what I've always been curious. Like, who listens to these podcasts? Like, I know there's at least like 6 of you motherfuckers. I'm sorry. I know there's 6 of you that listen to like every episode, and I don't know who you, I actually had a girl walk up to me at a wedding, and she's like, oh, it's a Roughnecks podcast. And it was like a bunch of people I went to high school with, and I was like, I don't want to be here. But and she's
That's
like,
cool.
oh, it's a Roughnecks podcast. And I was like, oh, here we go. Somebody's coming up to give me crap.
Yeah.
And she's like, I listen to every episode. I'm like, what?
What?
How does that make you feel?
It made me feel weird at the moment because then I'm like, we're standing in front of a bunch of people, and I'm like, all right, can we just not talk about me for right now?
Yeah.
Like, we're at somebody else's
At a wedding,
Let's
yeah.
let's talk
Oh my
about
goodness.
the wedding. But
That's sweet.
I wanted to kind of go into a little bit too. I wanted to ask you about connections because with detailing, do you do interior, exterior? Like, what are you doing?
He's
All of
great
it?
at what he does,
Yeah,
too.
we do everything.
Great
we
at what he
do,
does.
We do interior, exterior. We do paint corrections, ceramic coatings. That's kind of what we focus on. Headlight restorations, things like that. We recently started trying to get into like commercial vehicles, but we've kind of found that maybe we might not be ready for that yet.
How big is connections in that as well?
It's pretty big because
goodness.
I mean it's just like any other business. You know, you need a funnel of clients. You know what I mean? You need marketing, and I've made it this far through my relationships for sure. I mean, I can't give credit to anybody other than my relationships for how far I've been able to take the detailing business.
What made you want to get into that? And I mean, obviously you quit your job and you just started both of these at the same time. What kind
Yeah.
of made you want to get into the detailing?
So I worked at Carvana for a little bit.
Okay.
I did detailing there. I learned how to like buff and polish cars there because I worked in the body shop.
You guys honk horns nonstop. Our shop is right behind Carvana, and like,
Oh, really?
all I hear, if we're there, is like,
Yeah.
meh, 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 meh.
So
I'm
every
like,
time you
Jesus
turn a
Christ.
corner, you gotta honk the
Yeah.
horn. Yeah, to make
Oh,
sure no
wow.
one else. To make sure no one else is coming.
You can hear it.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah. But I worked there for almost 2 years, and I just knew it was something that I knew how to do. I was always into cars. I've always been like a car guy, so I always like have detailed my own cars. All my friends have always had like cool cars, you know. So we'd go hit the car washes together and stuff. And I don't know. I guess like when I first started, my idea was like it's a cheap startup. I mean, you can really go to Walmart, pick up some basic detailing
Yeah.
supplies, and
You
you can
did that,
and you
didn't
can,
you?
Yeah, and you can just
Yeah.
start cranking out cars, you know, and you use that money to just continue to buy better
Yeah.
and better and better supplies.
Can you
And
tell
that's-
them what you started out at and then where you're at now?
Yeah.
This
So
stuff's crazy, man. Like you hear, and it's been of a year, right?
this is our second year. So 2025 is our second year. 2024 was our first full year of
Okay.
business. Yeah. Man, it's crazy. So I have one of my really good friends. His name's Amir. He was already detailing with some partners. I don't think it was going the way he wanted it to. So I kind of just asked him, like, because I was already thinking of like how I can exit my job. You know what I mean? And I asked him. I said, hey, what if you and me just did it? And I kind of had to. It's funny because at first I don't think he was convinced until he saw me quit my job, and then I started like the Instagram page, started posting. I did a couple of cars, and he was like, "Hey, I have a detail this weekend scheduled. Come with me, and we'll see like how we work together, right?" And it really just went from there. I mean, I started. We have 2 locations. We have Columbus. We operate in Columbus and in Newark. We started in Columbus for the most part. Here in Newark, I had one dealership I was doing cars for because that was kind of my first idea was like, let me go to dealerships, and just offer my services to them. I had one dealership give me a car on the spot. They're like, hey, you do detailing? How much? We have one for you right now. So I go back, I pick up my little toolbox. I had a little toolbox full of just, basic detailing stuff. I did the car. And yeah, I mean, it was just that daily activity that kind of snowballed into what it is today. I eventually started renting a garage for my friend Heather. She has a detached garage behind her house that she didn't really use. So I said, hey, I'll rent it off of you for a couple $100 a month, and I can bring my dealership cars here. Mm-hmm. So I started doing that. I outgrew it eventually. Have a shop now over off West Main Street. Yep. I actually found the place because of him. And we have 2. So we have 2 vans because we're mobile. Okay. So we have 2 vans as well. We have one operating in Columbus, one operating here in Newark. We have a shop in both locations and one full-time employee in each area. Wow. Yeah.
The risk you guys, I want to call them risks, but it's just like taking the leaps. You guys both just take leaps, and it's like, because you guys literally look at it as like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Yeah, every single time.
Yeah.
I'm talking about with a kid on the way and everything. Yeah, for Baby Rain, love you to death, but yeah, got to make it happen.
How do you get into that mindset of just, because it's a struggle for a lot of people to just start. Like, everybody always has these goals, these dreams of what they want to do, whether it is start their own business or there's all kinds of different things, different types of things. How do you get yourself into that mindset of like, let's just go for it. Just do it.
For me, it was always like, I know I'm going to be okay because all I have to do is try. Yep. You know what I mean? If I put the effort forward, I know I can do it. You know what I mean? Even if it doesn't grow into as big as I want it to, I know that I will have some success. And if I continue to put one foot in front of the other, like, there's no way that you can't succeed. You know what I mean? And I think that's with anything. I think anything that you want to do truly, and I feel like I'm proof of it, to an extent. Like, anything that you want to do, you can do it. You know what I mean? You just have to try.
It's gonna take time.
And you have
to be good at anything.
That's the biggest things. You have to understand that part. You have to be patient for sure. And it gets hard to be patient because
we do get impatient sometimes. I will say that. Don't let us come here and act like we literally.
I get it. I'm the exact same.
One week we'll be like, bro, we're killing it. Like, we're doing good. Another week we're like, bro, we suck. And I think let's go back to the drawing table.
I think any entrepreneur feels that way though. Yeah. No matter what. You know what I mean? You have your weeks where you're on top of the world, and then you have your weeks where you're like, damn. What am I going to do? So
I could edit 2 videos back to back. One I could think is the best video I've ever made. The next one I could think is the worst video I've ever made. Like, and it could be within 2 hours of each other. And I actually had it happen to me kind of recently. I went and did. I got hired to go take some pictures at a volleyball game. I took the pictures. It was the outdoor thing at Whitesfield. I didn't like how the pictures turned out.
Yeah, I really like that event. That's cool.
It is cool. It's freaking. That was my first time ever going to it, and I was like, "This is sweet." Like I've never been to anything like this, and this is sweet. But I posted the pictures, and it was my cousin that hired me. But I texted her the next day and was like, "Hey, I really hate how these turned out. Find another game. I'll do it for free because it's like, but it's just that whole idea of like, I know I can do better, and knowing you can't, like you said, I'm gonna be okay. I'm fine. Yeah. And so I went back to, like you said, go back to the drawing board and figure out what
every
you
time
can do
you
better.
gotta go back to the drawing board. Yeah. Man, I will say, I think what really makes me okay with taking leaps is the fact that I've been able to change my perspective on what failure means. And to sum that up. I know Thomas Edison, I'm sure you've seen the quote. He said, you didn't fail 10,000 times. You found 10,000 ways that didn't work.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that you're never going to find a way. And I take that to heart. One thing that especially getting started in this entrepreneurship, I've told myself is failure is going to be inevitable. And even recently, a conversation I've had with myself is, dude, you're 22. You think you're not going to fail? How ignorant are you to think you're not going to fail?
Yeah.
Because I have had
Wait till
that.
you're 27. You'll
Yeah.
have a lot more.
No, absolutely, because I have had that. Because I'm like, sometimes I feel like I should have it right now. Everything should be figured out. And I'm like, I really had to take a step back. I'm like, dude, you're 22 years old. You're trying to start real estate. You have this going on, and you're expecting just to be some big shot winner. No, like we called it what, an ignorance tax.
Ignorance tax.
Yeah, you have to pay your ignorance tax right
Yeah.
now. You have to mess up right now. And if you think that you're just gonna have everything figured out, because when I left the last company that I was with to start mine, I had realized that I didn't know as much as I thought I did. When I left it, I was like, man, I'm ready to go. Like, let's do this. I know from point A to point Z. And leaving has opened up to a whole different world of like, okay, I didn't realize how much the last coach was taking hits for us that we just didn't see that came with business. But I knew I wanted to be in business, and I knew I wanted to take those hits, so I had to see that. So I would say it started with this shift of, okay, failure doesn't mean that I'm not good at what I'm doing. It just means that I need to try a different way, or I need to keep trying until I figure it out. And I'm a firm believer that if you stick to anything long enough, I don't care if it's saying, hey, man, like, Denali, you need to get good at flipping burgers. I promise you, if you give me a year of every day for 30 to 60 minutes figuring out how to flip burgers, I bet you by the time I'm setting, I'm going to be better than when I started.
Yeah.
And that's just with anything. So.
Yeah, it's important to have failures. It's a big thing that we talk about on this podcast, and it's a saying that I will continuously say. I heard it one time, and it kind of sparked from football in college, but I heard it outside of that too. But you will learn more from your failures than you ever will your successes.
100%.
Because your successes, you don't really go back and look at all the things that you did necessarily that caused it to go right. Yeah, you do pay attention to some things, but if you did that same way, and then maybe it might not work the same way the next time. So you're going to have the failures, you're going to have setbacks, but it's just another opportunity to figure out what you can do better.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
We ask ourselves 4 questions, whether we win or lose, so that we are always continuously improving.
Okay.
And it's what happened. What happened is an event, in this deal, in this transaction. What happened, first and foremost? What went well? Let's talk about that so that we can stay positive, keep moving forward. What didn't go well and what we did. And then the last question is, what can we do for next time to improve it? And with that, you get to learn not only from your failures but from your wins as well. And you just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward. So I think that's been huge because sometimes you can feel like you're just winning all the time as well. And it's like you're not doing nothing to improve though. So then when the hard times hit, they hit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So just learning from both of them, I think is huge.
Yeah, I mean, that when talking about winning, like I was getting client after client after client, like I was getting videos, I was getting things done.
And you're like, dude,
And
this is easy. This
I
is
was
cool.
in
I got
the
it.
process of taking a photo course, like going through a photo course that I have had. And it's, I was in the I quit doing it. And then all of a sudden my pictures go to crap. So it's like, oh, hey, maybe I should get back to that and like continuously try to get better.
Yeah. I like you, man. You talk a lot about getting back to the drawing board. Like get back to the basics in order to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I do that because I have an ADHD brain all the time. Yeah. So like it's constantly going, and I literally
superpower, man.
I have to stop sometimes and be like, all right, let's just restart and go back here, because otherwise I'll work myself and I'll stress myself out so much because of it. Because Sierra gives me crap all the time because she's like, I can tell when you're starting to get like stressed out and your anxiety starts going through the roof, because you'll be sitting there and then all of a sudden like you almost twitch, and I'm like, because I work myself up.
Yeah.
And I have to slow down sometimes and like truly take a step back.
Yeah.
Like look back at the whole picture sometimes, because if you don't, then you miss things in the process.
See, I like that you said it, because I feel like a lot of men try to be stoic and like, no, I never have those feelings. I never feel like that. I appreciate you for sharing that, man. Seriously.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm an open book, man.
No,
I'm
love
a free flowing, but I kind of wanted to talk too, because I mean, you guys are busy. You got 2 things going on. You're busy. Yeah. You're both busy. You got the family.
Life's.
Yeah, like you got a lot going on. How do you balance this work life? and
Oh
to
my
be able,
goodness.
because
You
they're
wanna go first with that?
it's not a fun process. I
No.
can tell. I talk from experience.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I mean, honestly, that's a tough question to answer because sometimes I feel like I fail at balancing.
Do you feel that it should be 50-50?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't
I
think so. I think that if you really want something, you're gonna have to sacrifice for it. You know what I mean? And
Something,
sometimes
at
yeah.
some level,
Yes,
something.
Yeah, something has to give. You know what I mean? And sometimes that means spending time with your family. Sometimes that means, enjoying your hobbies or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to cut those things out.
Dang hobbies, bro.
I know. We actually were just having this conversation earlier. Like, man, we don't have no freaking hobbies. Like, but
That's what I consider this. This is the hobby.
Yeah. No, this is awesome though.
It's a
But you're
sweet
learning
hobby.
so much from it though. Like, what kind of hobby?
this is a cool hobby. Yeah.
Man, I would honestly, when it comes to balance, I'd had a thought. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, how can you truthfully be balanced in life? Because my balance may look different from your balance.
Yep.
And my balance is different from his balance. And you have some people who they'll look at me and they'll be like, man, Denali, like, you need to chill, man. Or I go to West Church Social for a night and they're like, man, it's just great to see you here because, life's about balance, Denali, and like, you need to relax. And my thought is like, whoever told you that, like, that wasn't a balance to me, that I didn't enjoy what I did.
Yeah.
It is a question I've had. And shifting the perspective from, it's not about balance, it's about seasons and understanding the seasons. Just like winter, just like fall, they all pass through, they all have their times. Understanding that and communicating with your loved ones, communicating with the people around you, what seasons you're going through.
Yeah.
For example, right now, I have a kid on the way. We just got married. I tell my wife all the time, like, hey, I might not always be able to be around the house cleaning and being productive and doing this. Are you okay with that? And God willing, she's okay with that. But communicating that with her and letting her know, hey, this is what's going on in my life right now. For example, recently, I've had to leave the coaching job at Licking Valley. Love the job to death. Love it. If it paid infinite dollars, I would love to do it. However, with everything going on, that is something Roger talked about sacrifice. That's something I've had to sacrifice because of where I want to go. I'm realizing that that's taking away from there. As much as I love doing it, I have to sacrifice that. So now it's like, okay, that was a season. Now we're heading into this next season of preparing for a kid. What does that look like? And how are you going to handle things? And is the finances in order? And are you a leader of your household? Are you working on those skills? Now we're in a season of figuring that out. And what that looks like is with some of my peers, I don't always have time to go sit and hang out for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes it is just a quick text and, hey, man, I'm thinking about you, love you, hope all is well.
Yeah.
And that's all I can afford right now. But there's also going to be seasons where, man, I really need my people right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? I really need to spend quality time with my people, and let's do that. So just making it not about balance, but about seasons and being okay with what your seasons look like, not what someone else's look like. Because I love doing what I do. I don't want to turn it off. I want to be on vacation and be able to take 2 hours to work on the business and do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my perspective, it's cool to be able to go away and do that stuff on vacation.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So that balance, that's not balance to some people. That's balance to me.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters, I think. Seasons.
Yeah,
Seasons,
I always take my laptop when I go on vacation, and 90% of the time I'm like, nope, screw it, I ain't doing crap.
Yeah, not doing it. And that's okay. Like,
Exactly,
that's completely okay.
And now if there's times that I'm like, you know what, I just want to sit down.
Yeah.
Like everybody else that went down to the beach or something, it's like I just want to sit here on my laptop. It's
Yeah.
quiet in the house finally because, like, my family, we have 8 little kids running around, so it gets a little crazy and hectic. But kind of talking about the sacrifice thing, I actually just did a solo episode on this recently, and I just brought up my script for it because it sparked something like that idea in me. And sacrifice is the price of progress, because if you want something bad enough, you're gonna have to give something up: comfort, convenience, maybe even relationships. What are you willing to let go of to level up?
I like that, Cole.
Because it's true. And, like I said, I play 2 nights a week of volleyball right now.
Yeah.
I already told Sierra that next year I'm probably cutting down to 1, if not 0. Because I told her, and she understands, I'm like, if I want to take this business to the next level, I still have the full-time job. So my evenings, because it's 2 nights a week that I get, that's 2-3 hours that we're there that I lose, that I could be down here editing a video. I could be down here, talking to a potential client and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's sacrificing that as much as I love playing volleyball.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, heck,
Absolutely.
we're undefeated right now. So
Yeah,
it's kind
talk
of
to
fun.
him. Talk to him.
Like
Dude, that league is pretty good. Last
Which
year when I got
one?
in there, we got
Oh, yeah.
beat. It was a competitive one. That
yeah,
I
well, you
went
weren't
to.
on the greatest team.
Say,
Sorry,
Denali's
team,
pretty
sorry, guys.
competitive.
Yeah.
But,
No, it was
nah.
not I could not be that competitive.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I wanted to be, but it was kind of like, bro, like you start to stress yourself out
Yep.
sometimes. So I'm like, okay, I need to just take a step back. Like I have to detach.
Yes.
And it almost looks like I'm not interested in the game because I'm like, if not, I know I'm gonna go home pissed off. So let me just stop right here. Yeah.
Serious, but I've been able to walk away from it a little bit, like, because I look at it as like, yes, it's competitive league, but I'm like, it's rec league volleyball.
Yeah.
You guys, what do we get if we win this league? I can tell you what you get. You get nothing.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
don't even get your picture posted on the Instagram or anything. She's competitive, and I'm competitive, but I don't let it ruin my night if we
Yeah.
lose or
Oh,
if
dude,
things
I
don't
used
go. I used
I'm
to
not
be
gonna lie to you.
pissed about it, but I'm just kind of like, you know what, whatever. It is
Yeah.
what it is. But I forget what I was gonna say. I had something else I was gonna say.
No, I like that, man. Sacrifice is huge,
It
huge,
is.
and that's a tough conversation as well, man. That you got to have with yourself is like, what are you willing to let go of? Because us humans, we really don't want to let go of too much. We want everything, but we
Yeah.
want to let go of nothing, and it just
Yeah.
doesn't work like that. It's give and take.
I had to actually skip out on one of like her friend get-togethers
Yeah.
because she knew, and because she's like, are you even gonna be able to go? Because she was at the event that I shot, and I was like, no, like
Yeah.
I have to get down and edit this video, like,
Mhm.
because especially like I want to have quick turnarounds, so like I
Yeah.
have to get down
Yeah.
and I have to do it. And
Yeah.
she was like, that's fine, I get it.
Yeah,
And she's
speed.
like, everybody always talks, like, she's like, everybody was like, where's Cole? And it's like, well, he's editing a video, and it's like he couldn't, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you have to give up some of that sometimes.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It's a
Yeah, it
very
does.
tough conversation sometimes
Oh.
to tell your buddy, hey, no, I'm not going out to drink
Yeah.
with you tonight,
Yeah.
buddy.
Dude, I've caught myself being like, I remember when my wife and their parents went out to Buckeye Lake, and one time I know I had a couple meetings and I couldn't go. I actually noticed my mood change, and I had to stick with that. Like I was genuinely pissed off. She's like, what's going on? I didn't even know why at first. And I sat there and for a minute and thought about it, and I was like, because I really want to go on that, but
Yeah.
I knew I had meetings, and again, like it's cool, but then also you just like spend that time as well.
Yeah.
You sacrifice a lot too, man.
Yeah.
Sacrifice a lot. This guy, you were a car guy.
Yeah.
And you talk a lot about downgrading your lifestyle so that you can go towards more. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think you've mastered that more than a lot of people.
Yeah, it's been one of my biggest like learning curves, if that makes sense, as far as like downgrading my lifestyle. Because at one point, I did pretty well from, I mean, I'm not saying I don't still do pretty well for myself, but I was young and I was doing well, and you kind of start filling your life with like entertainment. It seems like,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And like one of those things was like cars. Like I would always I'd buy expensive cars and then I'd put a ton of money into them, and that was like a hobby for me. And I definitely had to let go of that, because it was like, what is that going to do for where I'm headed? You know what I mean? If I say I want to go, this far,
Yeah.
I can't continue to feed my old habits. So,
What's the worst car that you've ever had to clean or detail?
oh my gosh. Okay.
Like,
So-
I know there's something crazy that's happened.
Okay. So here's, oh man, and I'm not going to say the name of the dealership because I don't want to do this to them, but they sent me a
I think I know what you're
car.
talking
This was
about.
actually recent. This was like
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
a month or so ago. They sent me a car with live cockroaches in it. They're like, hey
Hell
Roger.
yeah.
They're like, hey Roger, can you, like, we have this car. They told me before I picked it up that we bombed it. Like, everything's dead. Like, we're good. We just need it detailed, right? So I go and I pick it up and I leave it like outside of my shop for, I think because we were super busy at this time. I left it out there for like a day or two. And then I finally I never pulled it in because they told me at one point there was roaches in it. So I never pulled it into my shop, but I pulled it like right outside. I started cleaning it, and I was picking up just trash, putting it into a bag. And like I picked something up and I saw like one of the cockroaches run, and I just dropped the bag, closed the door, and called him. I was like, guys, I'm not doing this car.
Oh no, he was dead ass serious too.
Yeah.
I remember I was with him when he was doing it. He's like, bro, I'm not doing that car. Like, I'm
Dude, I
not
was
doing it. You
so
come take
mad.
it. I'm not doing it.
I was so like, guys,
Straight face, everything.
I was like, guys, you can't just send me this type of stuff and be like, because they were like trying to talk me into it. They were like, we'll pay you double the rate. I was like, guys, if I find a cockroach in my shop, I'm going to be paying way more than you know what I mean? Like whatever you pay me to bomb this whole place, like I'm good. So that was probably the worst car I've gotten, was live cockroaches running around in there, for sure.
Yeah, screw that. No, thank you. Kind of going back to some of this, like, you know, the whole sacrifice and just the balance and everything. What, like, how do you guys, are you guys the ones keeping yourselves or each other accountable, or do you guys have outside as well?
What do you mean outside?
Like outside people that kind of help keep you accountable as well.
Oh, I struggle with having outside people keep me accountable. I do. I don't know why. Like, it has to come internal for me, or it doesn't make sense. However, with Roger, it's been one of the first, like, accountability, like, partners that I've had, and it's been beautiful. It's been really beautiful. We meet at 6 a.m. on Mondays at the coffee shop, and
every Monday.
I can't get up that early half the
talk
time.
about
I gotta work at 7 and it's like 6:30.
talk about highs,
All right, cool.
highs and lows, and how the businesses went, how personal life went. Literally talk about everything, and it's been kind of sweet because yes, it's about business, and yes, it's about growing. However, like, we're able to both, I would say, no homo, bro, be vulnerable with each other.
Oh, 100%.
And
talk about our personal lives.
Yeah,
as well,
absolutely.
You know what I
And
mean? Everything.
I think for a man, it takes a lot to do that, and not a lot of men have that safe space to do that. So it's cool that we're able to bounce ideas and bounce thoughts off each other and go that way. So it's cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool thing.
It's especially, like you said, as a man, you don't really have. You might have one person that you're able to confide in, and I have, like, it's mine changes.
If
but
you have it, treat it and nurture it.
Yeah, because and you also, like, you catch yourself and you're like, oh yeah, I could talk about anything with him, and it's like, how deep would you really go with him?
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to really talk about stuff with him? So, like, I get that, and if you do have that, it is very, it's huge to have something
huge,
like
man.
that.
Because we deal with a lot. I think my wife had told me, like, the cycle of a girl's period. They go 3.
Where is this?
Where
going?
is where are we going here?
Listen. 3 weeks, and then they go in their cycle. Whereas the men, we feel everything in 24 hours. So we go through mood swings. We're up one moment, down one moment. We're thinking about this. So, like, I'm saying, as a man, we're a little more emotional than we think.
Yeah.
So
100%.
it's cool to have that man in your corner and be able to talk back and forth with them over those type of things. So I promise I wasn't gonna wait too left. Not too left.
Sierra gets she loves the fact that I can be up 1 second and then the very next second be like, I fucking hate the world.
Yeah, right.
But you kind of mentioned it earlier in the episode, like at the very beginning, but what does whoa, see, now you got me thinking differently.
Hey,
what does success look like beyond money?
Oh, beyond money? You want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy because, so when was that? A couple months ago, we did the business workshop at the Licking Valley High School, where they asked, local business owners to come in and kind of just speak on entrepreneurship to the students. And Denali invited me to go speak, and that was one of the questions that I was asking all of the kids, was like, what does success look like to you? Because it looks different for everybody. Like, my version of success might be owning a Lamborghini, and yours might just be retiring your mom. So it's important to remember that. I think for me, it's kind of changed over the years. I think when I was younger, I was a lot more materialistic. I wanted the car, the house, the clothes, and all that. Now that I'm getting older, the most important thing to me is just the people that are around me. I've been through enough things to know that I have an amazing support system. The people around me, I'm very loved, and my version of success is really just taking care of them and nurturing those relationships and making sure that I can explore, almost explore those relationships to an infinite level. Like, I want to have a crazy relationship with my mom, with my sisters, with my fiance, with my best friend. You know what I mean? Like, that to me, I think, speaks a lot more on my version of success than it did a few years ago. Yeah.
I would agree. Mine at first was materialistic. Like, why I got into real estate was because I want to make a lot of money, which I still do, but there's different reasons why now. I wanted nice cars, and I wanted all that, and that's what was kind of motivating me to move forward. And I had a mentor really challenge me on, like, why do you want those things? And I had to quickly realize, like, okay, money isn't what I want, right? A lot of people say success is freedom. I do not agree with that, and I don't agree with that because I do have a lot of freedom right now. As a business owner, you technically do have a lot of freedom. There's no one telling you, hey, you have to be right here. There's no one telling you after work you have to go work on this, on your stuff.
Oh yeah, it gets me in trouble sometimes too.
Yeah. So you have a lot of freedom, and with great freedom comes great responsibility as well. And a lot of people can't handle that responsibility. Yeah. So I don't necessarily think success is freedom, because people would do a lot of stupid things if they're not being purposeful with their time. So I got asked this because a guy, he had told me success was freedom. And I was like, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to Denali? And I thought on it, and I would say success means to evolve. And when I say that, I do generalize it more, because to evolve looks different in everybody's life. But I do know one thing is, us humans, if we stop evolving, that's when we become, how you say it, stagnant. That's when we become miserable, I think, is when we're not moving forward, when we're not evolving our relationships, when we're not evolving our financial career, where we're not evolving wherever our spiritual life is at. When we become stagnant in whatever it is that we do, I noticed that we're miserable. Mm-hmm. If we're not working towards something or have purpose in what we're working towards, we kind of are like depressed in a sense. So I would say to succeed means to evolve. And it's cool because that can mean, okay, maybe you were someone at McDonald's working, but then you got a higher up job and you're like, okay, that's success to me. Yes, that is. You've evolved. Awesome. Or it is working out. Hey, I've went from 140 pounds to 150 pounds. That's evolving. That's great. If that's what your goal is, right? Just continuously moving forward in whatever it is that you want to do. I think that's what success is.
Yeah, the day you stop trying, I feel like that's the day you start dying. You stop trying to get better. There was a quote one time.
It's a lifestyle, man.
Yeah. There was a quote one time long while back. It might have been episode 16 or something. I still remember it, but he said complacency kills progress. And when we stop trying to learn, because here's the reality of it. You will never know everything, even about one certain subject. You will still never know everything. You might be the most knowledgeable person in the world, but you don't know all of everything. So you can always learn, and that's one thing that the ego as of male, it definitely plays in. And I've gotten, I'd say, from that high school time to that little bit of college, where you kind of I know everything. I'm a badass. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this. I know what I'm doing. And then I had a boss that actually told me, the day you realize that you don't know shit is the day you start growing in life. And I was like, okay, all right, whatever.
You know what's funny? I read a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
I love that book. I have it still,
So one of the pieces that he talked about in there that was so interesting to me was, he said, you should never, ever want to know yourself fully. And I used to be someone who always wanted to make sure I know myself so I could feel secure and I can feel good about myself. And when someone tried to attack my character, I can know exactly who I am. But in this book, he completely changed my thought, because he was like, no, you shouldn't know yourself ever fully, because the day you do know yourself fully, you're done growing as a person. The day you don't keep exploring who you are and what you want to do in your life and is the day you stop. And I was like,
personal development is so important.
It's huge, man.
Yeah, it is. And it's something that I strive to I actually just started a book, Atomic Habits.
A book? Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about starting a book. I was going to say, oh, man, all right.
Slow down. You don't want me to start writing. Where's spell check at?
Yeah.
I think that was the first book.
ChatGPT.
That was the first book our mentor had us read, was Atomic Habits.
There's a part in it that he talks about getting 1% better every day versus 1% worse. And if you get 1% better every day for a year, you're actually 37% times better overall, which 9 times out of 10 you're getting more than 1% better every day.
Absolutely.
And then 1% worse, it's exponentially faster that you actually go downhill. So it was a really cool thing. And it was talking about too the shift of, if you shift your mindset just a little bit, and it was if a plane takes off from LA and is going to Washington, and when they take off they shift 5 degrees, they're going to end up thousands and thousands of miles apart. And it's that little shit, like, and that shift could be
minor adjustments,
good or
Yeah.
bad. So like, it's really important to pay attention to those little types of things in your life, because you never know how that shift is going to affect it. But what's something that you know now that you knew when you originally first started, in terms of the real estate and everything,
that I know now that I knew also when I originally started?
that you wish you knew when
Oh,
you
that
started?
I wish I knew.
Yeah.
Oh, give me a second. I would have to say that there's no one way to success inside of real estate. The generation that we live in now, the time that we live in now, is so information based that we consume all this information and become paralyzed on where to take next steps. I struggled with that when we first started. I want to do wholesaling, and then I had someone tell me no, flipping is the way to go. And then someone said no, Airbnb is the way to go, and why don't you get in crypto, and why don't you do this? And my life reflected that when I first got started, because
everybody has the answer, and
everybody has the answer on what to do. And even now, like to this day, we're talking about that on just staying focused. And I guess that's the sense of it, is staying focused. I wish I would have been able to tell myself that back then, because I could probably be in a much different place now. I've kind of ventured off sometimes into different avenues just to see, like, okay, is this thing for me? Is this thing for me? When that time could have been spent really honing in on my craft just in this. So now I feel like we're at a point where that's what I'm focusing on, is honing on the wholesaling and honing on being a master inside of real estate. Staying focused on one thing. Because there's so many different ways to get here. There's so many different truths to get here. That's what we talked about today, is like, hey, forget what everybody else is doing. Like, we need to find our own truth in what we're doing and stick to it. So I would say that stay focused. Stay focused. That's what I tell myself.
Yeah. For me, I wish one thing I wish I would have known, and this is something that I learned quickly, but real estate is very much a people business. It's not a property business. Yeah, I mean, like when you first get into,
which doesn't sound right, because you're talking like I know exactly what you mean, but it doesn't even sound like it.
You want to elaborate on that a little more for the people, because that was good. That was good.
Well, so like when I first got started, I was so focused on like, okay, I need to be educated on houses, right? I need to know, what electric is in there, how old.
Don't look at this electric.
how old the roof is.
You don't have knob and tube in here. You're good.
What renovation costs look like. The truth is, I've done several deals without knowing what any of that stuff is. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like, a lot of the deals that I've done have been because of the people that I know, the people that I've connected with. And that's like your biggest strength in real estate, is your network and who you know and who can help you push these deals across to the finish line. So that's one thing I think I wish I would have known going into it, was focusing on people rather than property.
Yeah. What is your biggest motivator right now? What is kind of driving you guys through all this? And it may be different for both of you, or you may have a similar answer to get together.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's really my main motivator really is like, I want everyone that I love to have such a high quality of life. That's really
similar.
I was gonna say that's my biggest motivator. I want everyone around me to be, happy, comfortable, secure. You know what I mean? Not be stressed out, not be worried. I want everybody to experience some of the things that I get to experience. You know what I mean? Just through entrepreneurship, I want everybody to everyone that I care about and love to have a high quality of life. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's nice. Mine's actually very similar to that. I've gotten married this year. I have a kid on the way. And
that's something that'll get you motivated.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. My childhood wasn't the best growing up. And with that's been my biggest motivator, is I want to make sure my wife gets different opportunities. And I want to make sure that my kids get different opportunities than I did. And that's what keeps me going. I mean, it's just simple as that. Being a provider means a lot to me. So understanding what it takes to be that, making sure I understand what it takes to be in a leadership role and to even be a provider, because that comes with a lot of responsibility. I got assigned a it was by my wife's mother, godmom, and she had said, "Hey, I want you to go look at what it means to be a husband in the Bible." I was like, "Okay, like I'll do that." And when I'm reading all this, one guy can look at it and be like, "Oh, like I'm the head of the household. Like, yeah, you got to pay attention to me. You don't know nothing." And that's not the truth. I had read it, and I'm like, wow, like for you to get to that level of leadership inside your household and inside the people who are around you, that takes a lot of responsibility, because it says then that they have to lean on you, and you can't be a dummy with people leaning on you, right? So you have to go do certain things. You have to go build certain skills, meet certain people, shake certain hands in order to get there. And that's what motivates me, is making sure I'm a provider for my family and for those around me.
Yeah. It's tough to, understand that. Like you said, you can't be a dummy. That's the part that I think a lot of people misconceive or forget about. Of everybody it's a male natural instinct to think like I'm head of the household no matter what.
You can't be a dummy doing
that. Go ask Sierra.
Yeah.
She puts me in my place very easily.
No, I get it.
But like you can't be dumb about it. You have to know what you're doing, and you're not gonna know exactly what you're doing.
No,
you're gonna
not.
mess up. You're gonna have setbacks. You're gonna have times that you screw it up, but it's learning from that and just growing and continuing to get better.
Yeah.
What is a recent failure that has taught you something?
Recent failure that's taught me something.
I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah, I'll go. Should we do personal and business? I'll do business first. We spent probably $4,000 to $5,000 on marketing in the past 2 or 3 months, just to completely change our idea and what we're doing. And that shit sucked. We're not making that much money now to just be taking hits like that. So I would say business wise, that was a huge failure up front, because it's almost like you have to pay in order to see what these people are talking about. So yeah, I would say that. And then personally, failure personally. I'll have to get back to that one.
Well, my professional one is probably the same one as yours, as far as that, that marketing budget that we kind of blew through. But I mean, on the personal side, honestly, one thing, and this takes a lot for me to admit, especially on a podcast, but
everybody's about to see this dude. Watch out.
One thing I think that I fail at sometimes is my communication style, like in my personal life. I think it's rubbed off on the people that I care about most, and they're the ones that come and tell me like, hey, listen, you didn't have to talk to me that way, or whatever it is. But it's just my communication style. It's always been tough love, but sometimes I feel like I'm falling short, with how I'm communicating with the people that I'm supposed to care about the most. But one thing that I've been trying to do is kind of educate myself on just communication, really. I mean, I've been reading a couple of books. I read the Art of Communication, and then I'm reading right now the 7 Levels of Communication. Just trying to work on that. That's one thing. And sometimes I'll even catch myself still communicating in a bad way, and I'll be like, okay, I need to work on that. I need to continue to work on that, because it's going to eventually push people away who I care about. You know what I mean?
I give a lot of respect to that, because you recognized what it was, and then you went and read 2 books about it. Not a lot of people do that kind of stuff. Yeah. Most people are they maybe try to fix it, but then also, like you said, you still mess up, but you recognize it. And that's the biggest thing, is just being able to recognize your mishaps, your failures, or whatever it is. If you're not recognizing it, that's when it's really truly a problem. Yeah. If you recognize it, that's fixable. That's something that we can work with.
Yeah, and truthfully, honestly, a lot of it comes from his communication style, and just seeing the way that he communicates with people that he cares about. Because I sit back and observe these things.
I read a lot of books too, by the way. I sucked at it. But I had so many people come to the same conclusion of I was not good at communication. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go figure this out.
I'm bad at communication. Ask Cole Nethers. He's texted me 4 times, and it's like, hey, you want to go golfing this weekend or something? And I literally had to show him the last week of volleyball. He was like, you never answer my text. And I was like, I answered this one. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, you didn't. And I went and I showed him. I was like, I started typing it out. I just never hit send. I was like, I get busy at work and I just completely forget.
Yeah.
So like me and communication are not great. Like when I'm actually communicating, I'm not bad, but it's just actually getting the text back or whatever it is.
I would say personally, a personal failure of mine, I guess would be sometimes I'm going back and forth on if this is for me rather than worrying about how we're going to get there, if that makes sense. If I spent more time on worrying about, I don't even say worrying about, if I spent more time on, okay, I know this is going to work, let's move the ball forward, which we've made some adjustments. We'd be in a better place, but that's somewhere recently I feel like I've struggled at, transparently. It's just going back and forth, and sometimes I'm like, is this even for me, or doing something wrong once, and or having a multitude of failures happen, and I'm kind of just getting in my head about it. Like I said, coming to that realization of, man, like how ignorant were you to think that you were just going to get everything figured out? You're going to figure out everything in the first 10 tries, 20 tries. So what if it takes you 10,000? Who cares, dude? Get it done. You know where you want to go. So just going back and forth on that, I could spend my time elsewhere doing that. So I would say personally that's been the biggest setback.
One of the things that kind of like I want to go into with all of this is, do you guys have any daily routines that you do that kind of help keep you sharp, help keep you in this mindset? Like, is there anything that you do every day that's like, I have to do this, something like, you know, whether it's journaling, whether it's read 10 pages of a book, like whatever it is, do you have anything that you do daily to kind of keep you sharp or keep you motivated, keep you driven?
Honestly, for me, a lot of it is going to the gym. Me and him have talked about this before. A lot of the times, like, you know, the gym for me, I started out with being active. I think nowadays a lot more it's therapeutic. The gym, I don't know, like I feel guilty if I don't go in the morning. You know what I mean? It's like I like to start my day off on the right foot, and if I feel like if I don't go to the gym, I feel like I missed something that day. If that makes sense. One thing that I don't do this daily, but I do this whenever I'm feeling down. I have affirmations. I have affirmations, and I wrote down a long time ago. You know, these are affirmations that I believe, that I full-heartedly believe, but sometimes you forget. You know, you're feeling down, you're going through something, things aren't going your way. I will read these like when I'm going through those tough times, I will read these affirmations out loud to myself to kind of remind myself, like, hey, put yourself back in the mindset of when you wrote these things down, and forget how you're feeling right now.
Flow state.
Yeah.
Flow state. I love it.
You got any daily routines?
Yeah. So the first thing I say every morning is, God, thank you. Every morning I wake up, because some mornings I do wake up and I feel like I'm very ungrateful for being up. And so just taking that breath and just saying, hey, like, you're good. And God, thank you for allowing me to be on this earth. It's huge. I do a lot of breath work. I notice if I ever feel very anxious or I'm frustrated, anything of that nature, is due to my lack of breathing. So I do a lot of breath work, usually between meetings, usually sometimes in conversation. I've done it in this conversation, transparently. So I've incorporated that into the daily routine just to breathe, which sounds silly, but I would highly recommend trying it.
Yeah, it's huge.
Just like Roger said with the gym, that is huge to me. It used to be like, hey, I want to get big, I want to feel good and whatnot, but
what the
now,
hell's the gym?
Yeah, right. Yeah, what's going on with that?
I haven't been in so long.
Yeah, really look good.
Working outside.
Well, your job. I was gonna say your job too.
I mean, I get a workout every day essentially. So
oh yeah, you're good.
I'm good.
You're good.
Plus 2 nights a week of volleyball helps a little bit too.
It is extremely therapeutic. I feel like I have a lot of great thoughts when I go in there. And usually I don't have them until I get in there, honestly, because there'll be days where I don't go for 2 days, and then I hit the gym and I'm like, oh wow, that's all I needed, really, like a quick fix of the gym. You know what I'm saying? And my thoughts are flowing again. I feel confident in doing what I'm doing. So I'd say that, but then also I've realized that my brain needs to eat as well. So when it does come to reading and whatnot, I take that very seriously and pushing my mind to, okay, what's more out there? Because I really care about being educated. I care a lot. So that as far as daily habits, I try to get as much time as I can in with the family. So even if it's 10-15 minutes cuddle on the couch or dropping something off to my wife at the coffee shop, whatever that is just making sure I'm in their life as well is huge. Any other daily habits that I could think of? I like starting the morning off just in gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take a gratitude pill when I need it. If I'm feeling very ungrateful about something or pissed off, I'll usually try to refocus with gratitude. Now I'm getting to a point, though, where I'll actually let myself feel it. I think that is important. I used to be just wanting to go back and forth with all my negative thoughts. And now I'm at a point where I can let them flow and understand that, okay, just because I had that negative thought, that doesn't mean that I'm a negative person and that this is who I am. I'm just going to let this flow. And when I am feeling some type of way, I'll give myself about 5 to 10 minutes to feel that. And after that, then I'll start doing that, because it's not okay to just push your feelings down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you know, because they all come up eventually.
Yeah, they come up at some time. Yeah, they
usually
don't,
at the worst time.
Yeah, they get stored in your body. You have to release somehow. So.
No, I like that you guys both kind of have something that's therapeutic, because, you know, it's something that I feel like as men, it's hard to say that. Like, you need that release in a way.
Yeah.
Like, for me personally, I like to hunt, and, like, one of my favorite things about it is just sitting in silence.
Yeah.
No
It's
phone,
huge, bro. No
nothing,
distractions.
just literally sitting there in silence.
Yeah.
And just, you know, you might get to watch the sun come up, or you might watch the sun go down. Like, it is very peaceful. And, you know, so I do journal pretty much daily.
I love journaling.
It's one of the things that I started doing. It was from a podcast guest that told me this. He's like, I go back and read my years past on that day.
Yeah.
And I've started doing that. And, like, you know, like, you kind of brought up the gratitude thing, and it's like,
Yeah.
you might be pissed off at something, or you're pissed, like, it's just a crap day. And then you go back to, like, 3 years ago, and you're like, oh wow, like, I am in a way better position than I was 3 years ago. Like,
absolutely.
it's crazy. And it's just a little time. Even a year ago,
Yeah.
I'm completely different, and it's almost a nice reminder.
But you doing that
sometimes.
allows you to, like, ground yourself in what you're doing,
Yeah.
because we get so caught up in trying to grow and trying to move forward and trying to be better. Like, it's important that we do journal and take that time to be present and realize, like, hey, I'm right where I need to be. And I say that a lot, honestly. Hey, dude, stop. You're right where you need to be.
I remember I had one journal entry, and it was like, you know, I don't even know if this podcast is worth it. Like, you know, I'm not getting the views, I'm not getting this, and I'm not getting that. A year later, it was like I just landed the biggest guest I think I've had on the podcast.
Yeah.
I was like,
Who's that?
One of my biggest. I don't know if he was like my biggest guest to date, but I mean, he's been on Jocko's podcast. He was on Andy Stump's podcast.
Yeah.
I don't think he went on Rogan's, but his name's Nick Lavery. He was the first above the knee amputee to go back to combat after he stepped on an IED and it blew off his leg, and then he went back to combat. And I don't know if he's still active or not, but I know he's like still, I think, associated with the military a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it was one of those that I just shot my shot. Like, I literally sent his press like an email, and sure enough, they responded. And I was at a wedding that Sierra was in, and I'm sitting there like, I know nobody here. I can't even share this with anybody. Like,
So, question: Are you actively, like, engaging?
why are you doing this?
Are you actively engaging in reaching out to people like that, like just shooting your shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do it as much anymore as like random people. I mean, it usually comes and goes. I usually find it from like scrolling Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I might follow somebody, and then I'm like, man, they kind of are cool, or they have a really cool story.
Yeah.
And like, you know, that's kind of usually where I get a lot of like the most random people.
Yeah.
Now it's just based on like connection from one guest to another. And
Yeah.
like, it just continues to build off of each other. Like, I know I'm recording an episode on Friday. It's 2 country artists. I originally met the one at his concert. He was the opener, and I went to the bathroom. Sierra's like, hey, there's the opener if you want to go talk to him. We sat there and talked for a half hour about deer hunting, about everything, and then I asked him, I was like, hey, I got a podcast. You want to come on it? He's like, yeah, here, send me an email to this, and like, we'll get it. He's been on, this will be his 4th time on now. And then the guy that's coming on with him, they're actually doing a double headliner show next week. Yeah. And the guy that's coming on with him is his 3rd time that he'll be on, and it was a recommendation from the other guy. So like it's just like that's how I get most of my guests now. It's most of the time it's just building on. Really, that's what it is. And it's I don't even ask people. They're like, you know who you should have on is like, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Sure. I check them out. If they have a cool story, I'll roll with it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So I do have one more final question for you guys, unless you guys got other stuff you want to talk about after it. But what is one piece of advice for someone that wants to get into what you guys are doing, the wholesaling or entrepreneurship as a whole? Like, what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone, fresh out of high school, or whatever age they are, if they're just getting into it?
I mean, for me, it would just be just get started. Get started as soon as possible. I think that, oftentimes you procrastinate starting something, and then once you do, you realize that you wish you would have started way earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just start. Whether you have no confidence, whether you have no knowledge, all of that is going to come along the way, and there's no reason to delay your future over insecurities. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's big.
I like that. Delay your future over insecurities.
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Because we all have them. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Man, I would say to learn skills. Build your skills. You're young, build your skills. Learn how to have a conversation. Learn how to communicate, right? Learn economics and learn how this world works. Learn about the different ways to make money. Learn how to be a better dad. Learn how to be a better son, whatever that is. Be curious. Learn those soft skills, and I think if you build those skills, that can take you to wherever you want to go. If you're able to communicate and have a conversation, that can bring you into whatever room you want to, no matter your age. It's brought me into some crazy rooms, just being able to conversate and let people know, hey, here's what I'm doing, to communicate on what my needs are, and what I want, and what I'm looking for out of others. Has brought me numerous opportunities, and those are actual skills that you have to build. People think that you're just equipped with those as you either you have them or you're not, and it's just not the case. Like, these are actual skills you have to harness, you have to work on. And honestly, leadership, I would lastly say leadership. Build leadership skills, truthfully, because if you want to be good at anything, you're gonna have to be a leader in some way, shape, or fashion. And yeah, I would highly encourage you to be a leader, build leaders, learn the skill. Because that was something I ran away from, all these things. When I first got into real estate and someone told me I needed to get in sales, I'm like, I don't want to do sales. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to convince somebody to do this. So this is not sales to me. And it is. You're selling to everybody every day, right? And leadership, I ran away from leadership for a long time, and it just keeps coming back in my life. And finally, I'm like, okay, I'm done running from that. Let me go build this skill. So build your skills, and the money will come later, because your skills will be able to make you money. Even like writing, it blows my mind sometimes. We're in transactions, I'm like, wow, like that skill that I learned from that book, or this skill that I built over time has been able to generate me $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 because I took the time to build that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool when you've been able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just starting with any of it, like you said. I mean, look where it's got you. If you wouldn't have started, I doubt you'd probably be in the position that you are today. If you would have maybe just dipped a toe in, or not everybody is going to go out and just quit their job and go into this, but sometimes that is the answer. There is no one way fits all, but you were able to build your skills through that because of the fact that you didn't have a choice really at that point. You had to go for it.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to bring up with you, kind of based off of what you said. You started with just, you can go to Walmart, like you said, you went to Walmart and you can get whatever. You didn't have the fancy stuff.
Yeah.
How does that build your skills for when you do have the nice equipment, the nice stuff to do it? It makes it a little easier once you get to that point, because you've already put in the elbow grease, you've already put in the grit, you've already done, and now it makes it makes the process faster, makes
it more fruitful.
And if you'd have started with the fancy, nice, super nice stuff, you may not have been able to use that to its full capability, because you would have just been like, oh, it kind of does the work for me, or stuff like that. So I like both of those answers. Those are good. And
I would also say too, for someone young, if you're going to set a goal, which I think it is important for you to do so, make sure it's not just a year goal. Make sure it's a life mission. Make sure you want to spend your life doing it, and it's okay that it changes, but when you set whatever that goal or that life mission is, be intentional with that. Very intentional in your conversations and what you're doing in your life, making sure that you're getting towards that. If not, you're never going to hit that goal. You can set a goal, but if the intention to hit that goal is not there, it doesn't make sense at all. And if there's intention, but you don't have any goals, you're going to go into alternatives. Whether that's, okay, I have a bunch of energy and I love what I do, but I don't know where to get started. If you're not actively looking for that, it's going to get filled up with other things, whether that is partying or whether that is just hanging out or it's going to get filled up with alternatives. So I would say if you're looking to set goals, make sure it's a lifelong mission. Absolutely. And then make sure that there's intention behind following that lifelong mission as well.
It's weird that intention is brought up. I mean, considering that
Yeah.
I've been talking a lot about it in
Yeah.
those solo
It's
episodes.
important, man.
One of the things that I actually said, we was talking about laziness and like kind of the idea of laziness. Rest is intentional. Laziness is avoidance.
Absolutely.
That's how I looked at it. And, you know, there's a lot of intentionality behind things. If you're not intentional, that's actually like I have one of the journals that I have is like a, you know, daily questions that I kind of answer.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things is like, what can you do for yourself? And I literally remember writing, be intentional with everything you do today. Like there's a reason you're doing it. Find
Absolutely.
that reason. Otherwise, you're just kind of going through the motions, and you may not even need to be doing this, like, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, I like the intentionality. I like that you brought that up because it just kind of makes me hey guys, I've been saying this, now we got somebody else saying it, like maybe we should start listening to that. But just last thing, how can people, or do you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about, dive into?
I kind of had a couple questions for you, actually.
Oh Lord, I'm not used to being on this side of the mic.
Well, I really just, because, you know, you were talking about the type of guests that you have on here earlier, and I was kind of curious, like, what is your ideal guest to have on the podcast? Like, what is it that you want?
Like, who's that roughneck?
Yeah.
So, like, who's my like dream guest, or like ideal? Like, who do I look for when I'm looking for guests?
I guess both. I guess my question really is, like, you know, what kind of audience are you aiming for with your podcast?
So my whole thing is I somewhat take similar to like the Rogan approach, not like full. Obviously, he's having like oh no, the camera I think died, but we're good. He's having like full like scientist and stuff like that. Like, I mean, obviously I wouldn't be opposed to stuff like that, but
Yeah, you ask great questions, so I think
it's just the whole thing that I always look for is somebody that I find something I can learn. Like, I learn something every single episode.
Yeah.
Even if I recorded with Sierra one time, like I
I'll
learned
tell you,
something.
you can tell by your questions.
yeah.
Yeah,
You can tell by your questions for sure.
Actually, one of the best compliments I ever got about my questions, it was from Chad Dennis. I don't know if you know him. Yeah, so
absolutely.
Chad, I recorded with him, and he goes, "You're like a detective." He's like, "You're already thinking of the next question while I'm answering a question." And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm listening to what you're saying, but I honestly, I get more out of when I edit, because then I listen to actually listen to, because my mind's, you know, going multiple different directions
right now.
And I got to make sure I keep the conversation flowing. So, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of what my audience that I aim for. It's just like, you know, not every episode's going to be for you. Like, it's you know, some people you may not, you know, care about what they do or how they are. But I want you to learn from it and understand, like, a lot of this is life stories and life lessons that we've all made the same mistakes, and maybe, you know, you're going through it right now and you're wondering, how the hell am I going to get through this? Or, you know, maybe somebody is interested in wholesaling, and they can listen to this and learn
like,
something from it. So, like, that's like kind of my ideal. Like, that's who I shoot for. And, you know, I've had some people on where I maybe didn't think that they gave me the episode I wanted, or like I didn't feel like it was a great episode, but then sometimes those are the most high performing episodes.
Yeah.
So like it depends. But yeah, that's what I go for, is I just want people to try and get something out of every episode.
I like that.
So
I like that. That's intention right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes a lot of learning. I mean, I used to be so bad at this though. When I first started, my episodes were 100% scripted. Like, and I did not, word for word, I did not veer from that script.
Really?
Now it's like, screw it. I mean, I'll show you guys what I had. I didn't go through all of it, but like, that's what I had. Yeah. And it's just literally like some talking points and potential, some just like talking points. And the reason I do it is just so, like, if there is a moment where my brain goes like, I got nothing, I can look at this and be like, all right, cool, I got a question.
Cool.
So
that's sweet, man. That's really sweet.
Yeah, this is cool. I've never been on a podcast before, and
surprisingly, I haven't either. I've only done this. I've never been on a single podcast.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah, this
I don't
is
really know any other podcasters though.
This was a really cool experience.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
It won't be your last time, I guarantee that. I mean, Denali's been on twice now, so
I want to keep coming on.
The returning guest is becoming a new thing, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time I've had a new guest lately. It's been returning, really, just like
Yeah.
returning people, and I like it because it shows growth and it shows the difference in the people.
Mhm.
And I mean, 9 times out of 10, if I'm having you back on, it's for a good reason.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Well, that makes my heart feel good.
yeah, I don't just have people on
Yeah.
to have people on.
Yeah.
Now, Caleb Scott, you were having on just to have on. That's
Yeah.
my high school buddy. I hope he's listening. He's gonna give me so much crap, but I just asked him to come on again. But how can listeners support you guys or connect with you guys or reach out to you guys? And then if they have any questions, like how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. So my Instagram is where I'm mostly active at, is _Denali Harris, DENALIHARRIS. Always open to questions, whether it's real estate, whether it's life, spirituality, family, whatever that is. If I can't help you, I'll at least be a voice as well. So, or point you in the right direction if you do need help from somebody other than me. So I'll always let it be a source to others. And yeah, that's where you can reach me at.
Yeah. Best place to get a hold of me is probably Facebook. Roger Garcia on Facebook. Go follow and like Revive Automotive Details as
Yeah,
well.
buddy.
We put out good content, and we try to post daily. So
And that's fun, as we've talked about.
right.
Yeah, I'll have the links to all that in the episode description as well. So if you guys want to go there and just click it, you can. Or they gave you the ats, so go from there. But I appreciate you guys coming back on.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Appreciate you,
thanks for
Cole.
having us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do it again. And you guys know the deal. Until next time, life is hard and it's going to knock you down just like a bull does to a bull rider. Don't let that bull of life walk all over you. Get up, grab the bull by the horns, and take control of your life. Roughnecks, help.